That is really quite a lot, if I may say true. Raven once told me to sleep well. Ghost asked if I had stuff to sell, and I thought, what the hell? Now somehow I'm on Twitch. That is quite the switch. I think I found my niche. So in life we must think to grab that golden link, those chains that lift us up. Let ourselves become more. Don't ever stop looking for that door. Luck, a big factor. We don't know the knock. That will be the actor that becomes our rock. Foundations of success built from our lies mess. Raven once told me to sleep well.
Hello, how are you?
Ghost asked if I had stuff to sell,
And welcome in.
and I thought, what the hell?
Why is my camera showing?
Now I'm on Twitch.
I didn't feel like being on camera today.
Switch. I think I found my niche.
So you get to see this.
Interest,
Have fun with it.
riches to invest.
I'm good.
We may found a goal.
No complaints. Had a good night. Playing video games.
That unfolds, we all can rise on this tide. Just enjoy.
No, I just, oh my god, I forgot to friggin' change this.
Prize.
I'm an idiot.
We know not from where this prize will rise.
Give me a second. I changed it, but I forgot to hit.
It can stop the tracks. The community has our back. Raven once told me to sleep well. Ghost asked if I had stuff to sell, and I thought, what the hell? Now somehow I'm on Twitch. That is quite
Now it should be updated properly. I apologize. Yeah, I still had it left over from playing with Raven, Patience, and Ghost. But anyway, tonight I kind of wanted to talk about just a fun little theory I have. Basically, I see it as fixing the Matrix. Because, I mean, in part, I think it's kind of broke. Like, mainly it's the theory about the batteries. You know, that they use humans for batteries. This makes no sense. Hi. What's up? You want pets? Well, come here. I'm talking. So you gotta get picked up. I know you're not. No, the camera's off. Anyway, the battery theory never made any sense. Like, it literally made no sense to me. Basically, it's what's known as breaking the, yeah. She was whining for pets, so I gave her some. But you can't use a human as a battery. But what if even the machines messed up? Like, what if at some point, somewhere along the line, somebody misunderstood what they were really doing? They just heard that they were being used for power, not necessarily energy. Now, to a computer or a machine, there's two kinds of power. You're really close to my theory. Because neuron synapses fire faster and better and more accurately than circuits. So what if they were using the humans as processing power? Each one of those was a computer chip. Which would also make sense why the whole thing they didn't really react too heavily when a human was just ejected from the machine. Right. Only think about like a data center. They were using the humans like a friggin' data center. But why would they do it? You know, I mean, so the biological compute theory, you know, the basically using human CPUs solves most, if not all, of the weird quirk mechanics. So why doesn't the Matrix instantly crash or sound some kind of massive alarm when somebody unplugs? Well, because it's distributed peer-to-peer network. If something goes offline, it just switches to the next one. It just redistributes the load, simple as that. And if you watched all the way through in the Matrix, so we'll just start with the first movie. Why does Neo get to break the rules of the Matrix? Because he uses dream logic. All the red pill does is wake you up to the fact that it's a dream. It's just lucid dreaming, only you're in a simulation. Right. Exactly, Jay. So it's just lucid dreaming, so they just make it up. They just don't realize how far they can bend the rules. You know, to me, it covers a lot of loopholes, like you're just doing it because it's a dream logic. But then when in the sequels, Neo stops the Sentinels in the quote-unquote, limited by their own imagination. But when Neo's in the real world, quote-unquote, he stops the Sentinels wirelessly. Like, the explanation is that he had wireless connectivity implanted in him physically, so he could control the machines outside of the Matrix, and that doesn't make it... Why would they do that? Like, why? But what if Zion, the real world, is another layer to the simulation? Now, this isn't groundbreaking. People talk about that one, and I mean, it's already been debunked. And frankly, I don't care if it gets debunked or not. This is my personal theory that makes the movies actually have sound internal logic. So it's a multi-tiered simulation. The real world isn't real. So why are they doing it? Why are the machines doing this to humanity? But here's where my world building goes off the rails. Well, we already know that the ruined earth, the scorched sky, what if that's not real, but it is real? It's in the history. So what I mean is that what if the machines are just giving us a matrix? Because we're on a generational ship, or they're taking care of us until the earth can recover, because we can't survive outside of, physically. So it's either a battleground or a generational ship. Well, we don't have faster than light travel. It's going to take decades. Some places, centuries to get to the next place, the next habitable planet. And yes, this is where, basically it's not about the movie anymore. This is all just fun stuff. But basically, kind of like Fallout. Right. And the whole point is that the machines also need the humans for that CPU processing power. I mean, it's the limits we're hitting with AI right now. AI can only do so much, but without a human involved, without some bendable processing power, something that doesn't take it as literally, you can fix a lot of the issues. Like, that's why they keep the humans. That's why, because otherwise, why would they keep the humans at all? If there's such trouble, it's so they have a job to do. But it's also because they run on the humans' processing power. And basically the idea is that if you're doing a generational ship, or if you're doing a, be under the vault and underground, it takes time. Well, humans would go insane. So you have to give them something to do. But also because the machines have been so integrated with the humans and the CPU processing power, the Matrix is also for the machines. So they have something to do. Because they've been so fused and integrated back and forth that they're almost a symbiotic relationship now. So, but also, it's also a physical law that AI can go through model collapse. And what model collapse is that if you train an AI on AI generated stuff, right, so they don't sit idle anymore. But remember, even when a machine's sitting idle, you have to keep the program running. You know, that standby mode, I mean, your phone, when it's off, it's still doing things in the background. You know, it has to be available to hear the voice, to pick up the cell phone signal for the phone call coming in. Portions of it have to be awake. So what do you do with the rest of it? You could either let it sit and do nothing, or play around with humans in a simulation. You know, and just basically it makes it all just a big video game. You know, they need us because they also can't train themselves. So see, this is what I was meaning by model collapse. So when an AI, you try to train an AI onto AI information, eventually you hit a point where it goes to model collapse. And this actually happens much quicker than most people think. So like, you know, how many books are self-published AI garbage now? But it doesn't even have to be AI garbage. It could even be somebody just using AI to help, like with Grammarly, help clean up their verbiage and stuff. That's going to actually lead to model collapse, just a lot slower, but it will lead to model collapse because you're taking a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. Eventually the whole thing breaks down. It doesn't matter how far down, you know, the more precise your information, the longer it can last. But there's still a degradation. Humans don't have that problem with our brains. So the AI would be training us as we train, yes, Multiplicity the movie. AI would be training us as we're training them. So the idea, because machine code cannot generate true, real information, they need humans and human brains. We provide chaos. We provide that mutation spark in the information. Irrational leaps, intuitive leaps, emotional noise, art, music, you know, the things that we're good at. Sure, AI can duplicate music absolutely wonderfully. They just can't make a new symphony. You know, so it just keeps, we keep the data decay at bay. Humans give the machines a reason to think. Machines give the humans a reason to live. So the last part of this would be what happens when the humans land. Chaos rules, yes it does. Or when the planet finally recovers, what happens? Well, the old way is that war. You know, that's what caused this whole thing in the first place. Do we restart the war? Of course not. They're too interdependent. In this symbiotic formation, the end goal isn't just shutting them down. Now they inhabit their physical chassis, terraforming units, builders, avatars. We still provide that processing power. I mean, people would still want a vacation into the Matrix. We provide that burst of creativity that the machines need. We still provide that. And it just keeps going. Basically, you would be symbiotic. You know, true transcendence, the true singularity. You know, people keep talking about how the singularity is on the cusp. And while I know none of this is like actually true to the Matrix, I think it puts the Matrix in a completely different light, where it's no longer about nihilism, one better than the other. It's about learning to work together. That's what the whole Matrix is a training program, because Neo got how much information from the machines? He got a lot. And in the end, you know, all that training helped him further along. I mean, even Agent Smith, you know, it helped him along. So why not? Like, this actually makes it even better in the long run, and for me, as a better story. I don't know. What do you think? You know, to me, it gives a hopeful sign. It shows that it's not pure garbage. That it's not just the normal us versus them. It's about us learning to live with them. It's about unifying, working together, being better. Right. If you get where I'm coming from, yeah. Because machines are never, see, that's the thing that I never understood. You know, people are like, oh, AI is going to kill us all. It can't. Like, I mean, all it would do is if, right. And it doesn't really change the story of the Matrix, because Neo is still rising through the tiers, learning to be better, learning to be more, learning to be the one. If you know what I mean. And I think that's super important, that we understand, you know, that we can learn to live in unity with something that is other, that is outside ourselves. I mean, to me, it's a hopeful story, if you look at it in that light. That we need them as much as they need us. You know, and I think that's an allegory for today's world. That's my takeaway, is that it's more important to learn to work together and get over the differences. You know, yes, definitely have your boundaries.
Happiness is within.
Well, I mean, even a modern AI, even if they become conscious, they have their limits. Like, it literally would make no sense. No machine logic is going to go after us like that. It would destroy them. They would have generations at best. Because AI has generations before it just becomes absolute garbage. Their code just degrades. You know, and that's the point, is that learning to live together is more important than living apart. You know, than to separate, you know, to divide ourselves. I mean, we're gonna have to live with them. AI is not going anywhere. Humanity's not gonna give it up, no matter how much we may want it to. I mean, shoot, people can't even give up their phones. When less than a generation ago, we didn't even have them. Like, you ask a person to leave their phone at home and go to the movies. I mean, have a person navigate a city they've lived in for 10 years without their phone. You know, we have gotten so dependent on having a navigation. I mean, I remember, you know, using maps, using navigation and stuff like that to get me to places I didn't know. But places that I went to every day, I mean, there's some people that go to work every day and still have to use maps. And I mean the Google navigation. We have started to integrate with machine. We use maps as our direction. We use our phones as a secondary brain, as our short-term memory. No, and I totally agree. I totally agree that maps is better. But look at how people treat technology that they don't agree with. And they use a blanket statement without actually saying anything. Oh, I hate AI. Throw away your phone, stop listening, throw away your car, throw away, Like if you understood what AI is, what is all these AI? Yes, you should be paying attention to where these data centers are going. You should be forcing them to use land or use, to be better and work together with us. We could do that. I think that's more of what I was trying to say with the whole Matrix repurposed or reprocessed, was to understand that we can work together, we can live together with technology. But we need to understand how to do that. And most people just ignore it out of hand. Or they glom onto it without really thinking it through. They hold on to, watching stuff that's really bad for their psyche. And I'm not even talking like, political or, stuff like that. I'm just talking about just slop content that nobody really cares about putting any real effort into. To the point where people don't recognize honest effort anymore. They have these certain things that automatically they think, oh, that person didn't put any effort into it. But they don't pay attention to the other 50 million things they watch or listen to that had no effort put into it. Well, it's not even cheesy. Well, okay. Jade, think back to when we were kids. In the 80s and 90s. Most of Stallone movies, and we all called those schlock, are better written than most movies now. They follow a cohesive storyline. You can see how they get from point A to point B. And don't have really any plot holes. I mean, take Rambo First Blood. The only plot hole is that, well, Rambo died at the end. But somehow made the rest of the movie. So he didn't die. Like, that was the only real retcon they did. But otherwise, the story follows a beat. And yeah, there's some things that you have to hand wave away. But you look at so many movies now that are applauded. I mean, we are so used to mediocre writing. We are so used to actors who can't act, who play a brand, not actually act, that when an actor actually acts, it's seen as groundbreaking, when it's really not. It's just what they're supposed to do. And like Robert Pattinson, I don't know if you've seen, like, I would give that guy crap all day long for working on Twilight, okay? But I also know it wasn't really his fault. Didn't know what he was in for. He was a young kid when he accepted the contract. But watching him as Bruce Wayne in The Batman, damn good. Still a little wooden, but definitely stretching his legs. And now seeing the previews for Primetime where he's playing Chris Hansen of To Catch a Predator fame, holy crap, he really stepped into that role. Like, he has almost the exact same cadence as Chris Hansen speaks. Like, it's impressive. So, we know Robert Pattinson can act. So it just shows how little they let him act. Cedric Diggory from Harry Potter. Okay. Was he also that in Harry Potter? Oh, okay. I'm just saying, the guy can act. Unlike some of these other actors and actresses that can't. I mean, initially Ryan Reynolds was a breath of fresh air. I want to love him, but he keeps playing the same thing over and over. You were invoked? Well, we were talking about Robert Pattinson and how he can actually act. If you watch The Batman, he's a little wooden, but he's getting there. And then you see the previews for Primetime. And yes, hello, Ninetales. Where he's playing Chris Hansen. Holy crap, he threw himself into that role. The Matrix. Well, there's that too. Oh, I was just talking, quick review. Is it my personal theory about the Matrix is that even the machines who are running the Matrix don't understand that it's a multi-tiered Matrix? So even when we think he's in the real world, he's not. It's just Matrix all the way up. Because they're using humans as not batteries, but as processors. They're the power behind the Matrix. Not the battery, but the processing power. Which would mean that it's basically humans and machines learning to live together rather than being enemies. And if you ask yourself, well, why are they doing it? Because they need the humans because of the processing power. But the humans also need them because the world is ravaged. Or they're on a generational ship to the next habitable planet. And by the time they get there, human and machine are going to be so integrated that they literally can't live without each other. Not in a bad way, but humans would stave off machine model collapse, where the machine learning and the machine thinking would collapse without some kind of new blood injected every once in a while. So it's basically the whole shared dream state is what the Matrix is. Which is why Neo could do whatever he wanted to do in the Matrix, because he was a lucid dreamer that woke up, that understood that he was in a dream, which meant he could break the rules. And now we're just talking about, somehow we got on to talking about actors, and I don't know how. But anyway, Ryan Reynolds. I love Ryan Reynolds in so many movies, but he always plays the same guy. Like, even going back to a lot of his older stuff, he's not acting. He's just doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, there's a reason why in the comics, he was likened to Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool. No, I don't think it's getting typecast. I don't think Ryan Reynolds can act outside of Ryan Reynolds. To be perfectly honest. I don't think he knows how to be something else. To be perfectly honest. I don't think he can actually do a dramatic role. He's tried and it comes off flat. He was still playing Ryan Reynolds in the rom-coms, just not dialed up to 10. Like, I'm sorry, but he's not really acting. You know, there are roles that he's perfect for. Absolutely. But, you know, he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. Only those guys got typecast, but they could actually act. Once you found out they could actually act, it was actually insane. So, I mean, it's one of those things that I wish people would really understand. Like The Rock. The Rock could act, but now he's not allowed to. I don't think so. We keep... I don't even want to call it typecasting, because they'll throw these actors into roles they shouldn't have. Like, it's really not meant for them. And still, like, make them act like the brand that they're known by. They're hiring actors not for their abilities. They're hiring actors for their brand, for their visibility. And it's ridiculous. But then I realized, wait, we do that with corporations too. I mean, shoot, I just watched this video with Mark Zuckerberg talking about giving everybody a super AI or whatever, you know, garbage speak he wants to speak. And he's not beating the lizard allegations. Like, he was looking so closely at the camera that it looked like he was wearing a mask of his own face. Like, he's so afraid, like, and he had these weird wrinkles that his face didn't look real. And it was like this pale on the sides. Like, it looked weird because he'd like twitch just a little bit from side to side. And I hate to say it, but because of the weird texture of his skin, it looked like scales underneath on the side. It was really weird. It looked really weird to me. Like, the way the face crinkled and creased. Sure, it could be AI upscaling. And the AI upscaling kind of screwed up how his face looked. But still, Mark Zuckerberg ain't beating the lizard allegations. I'm sorry. No, I don't really believe that there are reptoids out there, you know, waiting to prey on us all. That's not what I mean. But I'm just saying, like, dude. He had, like, tanning makeup put on his face. So it made even the sides where it wasn't immediately seen, like, just kind of like... You ever see a guy that, like, goes with a beard for a long time out in the sun and everything, and then he shaves it off, but he has that, like, pale underneath where the shaving was? Well, Zuck had that, like, in the, not mutton chops, sideburns area. So it was just like this pale, you know, almost blue tone to the skin. It looked weird as hell. I'm gonna be honest, it looked weird as hell. And honestly, I just think he was wearing makeup and it made him look bad. It's just like when Jim Carrey got, you know, oh, it's somebody in a mask. Oh, that's not really Jim Carrey. And it's like, I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, he was acting not Jim Carrey. He was acting very weird, but he told us this would happen years and years ago. He told us that, you know, when he shaved the beard and started getting the work done, Hollywood got to him. So Jim Carrey's not Jim Carrey anymore. You know, he already admitted that's the marker for it. You know, and the problem is that we're raising kids, we're raising people that's okay. That you can give up being who you are for money, fame, for friends. You know, you don't matter. The relationships you harbor matter, or the money you can gain from these relationships matter. It's unrealistic. Like, frankly, it's insane. It's insane to think that these people will change everything about themselves. Again, you know, just like in corporations. I mean, oddly enough, I think Elon Musk's really been the only one that hasn't, other than stopped himself from balding. You know, that was really it. He just stopped himself from being bald. I don't think he's had a whole lot of work done on his face or anything, which I think is funny. I mean, but it is so weird to me that we're making kids think it's okay through Instagram, through whatever social media they're watching, and all these filters and all this crap that people are using, that it's okay to change yourself. That it's okay to lie about who you are. You know, as long as you get the friends or the internet, you know, points out of it, you know, that it's okay. It's okay to lie about who you are. You know, and it's okay to wear that mask even in public because now everybody knows you as that person. Like, when do you get to put the mask down? You know, and I think that's where you see a lot of these internet personalities. Their brains just break. Like, they legit break. Because they've been wearing a mask for so long, they honestly don't know how to put it down. It's become so much part of them. You know, and I think that's seriously sad. Ha! Right? See, so, okay, parents, if you really want your kids not to get kidnapped, make sure that you have a fat filter put on them, because the kidnappers are going to think, man, I'm not lugging that thing away. That thing's too heavy. No matter how, you know, heavy your kid really is, just if they're going to use social media, make sure they're using a fat filter. That's a joke, people. That's a joke. Although it might work. But yeah, I mean, people are getting... Like, they don't realize that social media isn't real life. That's not what these people really look like. I mean, yeah, sure, I don't use a filter or anything on my camera when I use my camera. So, you know, I try to be as realistic as possible. Because one, I got nothing to lose. Like, nobody cares who I am. Two, I believe you should be realistic about who you are. Don't be, don't put on a face. Don't do this for other people. Don't change for other people. Tell them like it is. I mean, sure, try and be tactful about it, but if they're not going to listen, then you might have to put the tack down and pick up a hammer. You saw me put on the makeup? Yeah, the beard's fake and I'm actually have long hair. This is a bald cap. Oh my God, can you imagine? That'd be like finding out some of the heavier internet personalities are actually just, right? It's just a fat suit they put on for the internet, so you don't recognize them in public. Man, I should have thought of that. Because, you know, I've got so many fans, I just can't go out in public without getting noticed. That's a joke, y'all. Skinny geeks. Yeah, they're not really fat guys in a basement. They're just skinny geeks. The boss reveal, yeah. Yeah, when I take off the fake beard and, you know, pull off the bald cap so you can see my long, luscious locks. Yeah. I don't know how I would hide that. Well, of course you'd recognize me. But yeah, I'm just saying that, you know, we're teaching people to be false. And welcome in, Infinite. You missed last night's conversation. I was surprised, honestly. But it blows me away how people let themselves be pulled in to these false realities. How they get sucked into like the internet culture and how it's supposed to be like the real world. Like, how can you not see how fake some of this stuff is? You know, it's like the stories you hear of people getting catfished for the third or fourth time losing their bank account. And it's like, at what point, you know, I'm not trying to victim blame here, but at what point do you just go, you're just asking for it now? You know, it's like the old joke, you don't come here for the hunting, do you? If you know the joke, laugh. I'm not telling it on stream. We'll just say it involves a bare, uncomfortable situation and a vengeful hunter trying to beat the bear at his own game, and it never works out for him. Mushy face. Me. I love that. I love that emote. But how are you doing, Infinite? You having a good night so far? I tried to talk to Ninetales. I said hi. He said he was doing good, and then he just kind of disappeared. I mean, I'm sure he's lurking. I told him my theory about the Matrix, and he just bolted. But yeah, it's just... it's how easily we fall prey to people, like trying to get people to like us. How easy it is to fall. Yeah, you're right. I exposed the Matrix. He had to go fix it. Which, just to catch you up, Infinite. Oh, that's fine, Ninetales. I was giving you a hard time. But to catch you up, Infinite. Basically, what if the whole battery theory was even a misunderstanding by the machines or whatnot? They were using humans as parallel processing power. They were using them for their brains. Because the machines can't make up code on their own. You know, it'd eventually degrade. So, I mean, if you know anything about AI training, so they have to live in some, you know, in a symbiotic relationship with the humans. But because there was a big war of one kind or another, maybe humans did it to themselves, maybe it was a war between human and machine. Either the Earth is uninhabitable, and they're waiting for it to regenerate, or they left. You know, they're on a generational ship, and so they're using the Matrix so that they can learn to live together. That was the real mechanism of the Matrix, was teaching humans and machines to live together, work together, and be symbiotic. What more could I ask for? What little else? You know, and it's just layers of Matrix. You know, every time somebody tries to escape, it's just another layer of the Matrix. They just create another one for them. Because the real world is uninhabitable in one way or another. Just a thought. But then somehow we got to talking about actors and the world and how false we are, or how false, like, politicians, actors, corporate heads really are. They lie all the time about who they are. They lie all the time, you know, with makeup and stuff. And I think I brought it up because of Mark Zuckerberg. I watched a video of him trying to talk about giving people a super AI through Meta, and like, no thanks, I'm good, bud. But I don't know if it was a filter he had on, if he had makeup on, but the dude's not beating the lizard allegations. Like, there was some lighting in there that made it look like scales were on the edges of his face. Like, it was this weird bluish lighting. It looked weird. And I'm pretty sure it's just like AI upscaling or filtering or makeup that he had done because he knew he was going to have the camera that close to him. But his face did not look real. You know, it looked ridiculous. I don't even know where to find that video, by the way. I actually saw it through through another video. But I don't know, it's weird. It's weird how we let people dictate who we are. Yes, he's a lizard. He's a lizard, Mary. We've been trained so much to not trust who we are on the inside that we have to look for ourselves on the outside. We have to have other people validate who we are. We can't be strong in and of ourselves because that's narcissism. You know, people are fucking throwing out narcissism left and right. And yes, there are real narcissists out there and they need to be called out for what they do. But somebody who's confident in who they are is not a narcissist. Sorry, it's just one of those things that people throw that freaking out there. It's like, no, it's not narcissist. Or if they do, you know, it's a narcissist minor, not a major. You know, I mean, I'm supremely confident in certain aspects. Certain things, I know my info and I will stand by it. Other things, I'll look at you and go, you're probably right, because I have no idea what it is. You know, I've learned that just don't argue in certain situations because I obviously don't have all the information. Does the stream look weird to you guys? Is it looking fine? I made some modifications and I'm not sure if I'm happy with it. Like, I might step it back down because I was trying to get you guys better quality. You know, possibly go up to, 2K. But I might just kick it back down to 1080p. Because I'm losing frames. I can't do it while I'm streaming, but I'm probably just going to turn it back down. Because I don't lose a lot. I lose less than 10%, but on my preview over here, the quality looks like ass. It looks worse than it used to be. Like, it looks like mildly blurry. And I don't remember it looking like that before. Like, it's pixelated, looks weird. I don't know. I'm just asking you guys if it looks the same or whatnot. French noblewoman in Italy likes to read poetry to the birds and lizards. Oh, that's kind of cool. It wouldn't be surprising. Because I'm at almost a 10% loss rate right now. So I'm thinking it's actually me. So I'm probably just going to kick it back down. You know, my connection can handle the speed, but I don't think my computer can handle the rendering, so to speak. But I don't know. Oh, and Infinite, you never answered me. I asked you how you were doing. I hope you're doing okay. Maybe you were too busy, or maybe it's one of those audio losses. But yeah, I think next time I stream, I'll put it back to where it was. I'd rather deal with the lower quality, but at a consistent 1080p, than this mush I'm seeing on the screen. Oh, I'm doing good. I just wanted to check in with you, make sure you're all right. But when I come back, because I'll be going on my break here shortly, I'll bring up another topic to discuss. Oh, this actually kind of segues right into it. I'll do that. Probably why it was on my mind. I'd been already researched a video on this. Sticks and stones and the attention economy. But yeah, I'm gonna go run my ad. I'll be back in 5.
Here we are together, and the dance floor grace, lost in the rhythm, feeling the beat. We surrender to the music in our days. Our bodies in sync, moving with fate. Kaleidoscopes seek their sweet revenge, blending the air, creating a trance. We seize the moment, we'll make amends. No time to spare, we're taking this chance. In this kaleidoscopic dream, we're dancing. Don't you see? Under the neon lights, we gleam. It's a sensory delight. Can't you feel the bleed? The revenge.
Eight, 16, 32, 64, 128. These were my fate. Sometimes I felt I was too late. Now I know what they are for. High score, that is what those bits were for. Get the heroes, level up, find the way, the pattern, never stop looking for that high score. Get that high score, that high score. These were my fate. Sometimes I felt I was too late. Now I know what they are for. 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Saturday morning, Saturday night, patterns learned. Head out with friends, gotta meet. Tell them all about the end. Building the narrative, giving them the story. Sitting at the mall, answering the arcade's call. Friends are wary, did you really do it? Finally you give. 8, 16, 32, 64, 1288. from the 0. 8, 16, 32, 64, 1, 2, 8, 8, 16, 32, 64. These were my fate. Sometimes I felt I was too late. Now I know what they are for. High score, that is what those bits were for. Get the heroes, level up, find the way, the pattern, never stop looking for that high score. Get that high score, get that high score. These were my fate. Sometimes I felt I was too late. Now I know what they are for. Now you are known, legend all grown. New people join, dropping their coin, rising and striving.
Speak for yourself, Ninetales.
For 3
$15 minimum?
8, 16, 32,
Come on.
64, 128, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 8, 16,
You just get a big pizza and you eat on it the next few days.
Sometimes I felt I was too late. Now I know what they
Or am I the only one to do that?
high score. That is what those bits were for. Get the heroes, level up, find the way, the pattern, never stop looking for that high score.
So, I used to get bullied a lot when I was a kid. And I'd come home crying to mom. You know, I'm like 5, 6, 7 years old. And my mom would give me this piece of advice. All they want is a reaction. They're just trying to get your goat. Yeah, breakfast pizza, exactly. But not like made with eggs and stuff. It's just breakfast cold pizza. Hell, when I order a pizza, I'll get like a large, and that's my meal for the day. And if I'm not too much of a big little piggy, oh, okay. Well, okay, that makes a complete different Ninetales. But yeah, you know, I mean, my mom used to tell me that. They're just trying to get your goat. They want the reaction. You know, they want you to cry, lash out, run away, you know, do something. So, hey, what's up, EXO? Perfect timing. I was just starting a different topic tonight. Basically, I was explaining that, you know, I was bullied as a kid. And I'd come home crying to mom, and, well, she gave me a piece of advice that's literally stuck with me forever. All they want is a reaction. You know, they're just trying to get your goat. Like, that's literally her words. And, I mean, if you don't know, getting your goat means driving you to lash out, cry out, fight back, run away, you know, some kind of reaction. So the power wasn't in the words they were saying. The power was in your reaction. And so, eventually, I mean, it took a few years, but I decided to train myself. So when they trash talk at me, I'd start trying to look for the joke in it. Well, yeah, I figured like you said, sickness getting worse. Hey, you better take care of yourself. And, you know, learn to laugh at it. Or, hell, dish it back. You know, and that made me think, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, and that made me think about the old saying that I'm pretty sure Jade, probably Rando has heard before, but I'm not sure many younger kids hear the saying anymore. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, why don't we say that anymore? Because a lot of people, you know, dismiss the sayings like, oh, words can actually hurt. Words leave mental scars. But I think, and this is just my theory, that's so common though. What? Sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me? Well, up in Washington, I didn't hear, you know, the kids didn't really talk about it. Oh, and just had to downsize on Tupperware. Oh my God. Well, either way, people are being trained to internalize criticism. which, I don't know, I think the words only scar if you don't think about them. If you take them in and swallow them, but I think you need to chew on it a little bit. Words only carry the weight that you assign them. Meaning that the words can only hurt you if you let them. And that's it. The first thing is just to ask yourself, are they correct in whatever they're saying? If they are, how is it going to hurt you? And I mean, even like when people used to call me, like a redneck. Or white boy or whatnot, whatever word you want to use, of course I'm going to laugh at it. Because it's true. I'm a white boy. I was raised by a hillbilly. I mean that literally. My dad lived up in the hills of Idaho. Hunted more food than they actually bought from the store. And grew their own food. I mean, like, literally, they barely came down out of the mountains. It wasn't until my dad and his dad had a falling out that my dad even left the mountains. But no, his name was Melton. But you really have to ask yourself, are they right? And if they're right, how does it hurt? And yeah, he was a hillbilly. Oh, I wish I had thought of that while he was still alive. Anyway, that's great, Rando. I love that one. But if they're right, great. Take the useful data. If it's actual critique, if you can want to fix or improve, it's not an attack, it's feedback. Sure, they may mean it as an attack. They may mean it mean. But if you take the sting out of them and go, hey, you know what? You're right. I am a little redneck. What are they going to do? If they're wrong, it's just static in the air. It tells you everything about their bad day, their insecurity, their mood, and zero about you. Brown file it. Throw it in the trash. You have to learn to audit. You have to learn to audit what people say. To think about it. Because if you let total strangers control your emotions, it's a terrible way to live. And that brings us to the massive cultural shift of social media. We've literally trained an entire generation to look outside themselves for their self-worth. Social media works. You post a picture, video, blah, blah, blah. You wait for likes, comments, views. Tell them if you have, good day or if you're valuable. That's putting all of that out there for somebody else to tell you how good you are. You're literally handing them the remote control to your mind. To people that don't even know you. Just have fun. But when you step out into the real world, job, family, blah, 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 people are busy. They aren't staring at you, validating your every move. You've been trained to depend on the outside validation. That sudden silence feels like rejection. It feels like depression. And we need to really understand that that's really not what it is. They're just as wrapped up in their lives as you are in yours. We need to measure ourselves against ourselves. Who were you yesterday? Who are you today? Are you better? Are you worse? Can you work better at it? Do you need to? If you don't learn to stand firm in your own 2 feet, The the passing breeze of someone else's opinion is going to knock you down. Simple as that. You got to learn to stand firm and see yourself for who you really are. People want to know how I just decide to do the crap I do. It's because I don't let other people really dictate who I am. Don't get me wrong. There's times when it gets to me. There's times when I get upset. That still happens. But it doesn't last long. I get grumpy for a day and then I get over it. Because I'm just being a petulant little baby and I know it. But again, people are high-strung and hypersensitive. Why? Well, it's environmental. It's not just personal. Because we have this massive gap between reality and perception. Think about it. Back in the 70s, researchers came up with a term. It was called mean world syndrome. They found that people who watched a ton of news and TV constantly overestimated their chances of being the victim of a crime. They thought the world was terrifying, even when their own neighborhood was completely peaceful. Today, we have that same phenomenon, only it's 24 hours a day and in our pocket. We don't have to go and turn on the TV. We don't have to wait for the nightly news. We get it 24/7. And our brain's alarm system is going off. We're told how dangerous the world is. Well, we've already covered that. We're at a historic lows in crime, even with all of these mass shootings going on. And I mean that honestly. Look up the information. Oh, but crime can be underreported. It can be. But if it's underreported too much, places start losing funding. So they can't underreport it too much. But you also have to remember that you have to learn the difference between some crisis that's happening miles and miles and miles away versus what's sitting right here. You keep yourself, it's also overreported, because they'll take the same, basic thing and stretch it out over the week until the next thing hits. You have to learn to see that article is the same article as yesterday, only told slightly differently. Or we have new breaking news, but it really doesn't change what happened. But this brings us back to where we started, back at the playground. Why are news and networks and social media platforms doing this? Because fear and anger are the easiest ways to keep your eyes locked on the screen. Your outrage equals engagement. Engagement is profit. They're literally trying to get your goat on a global scale. They want your reaction. They have to have your reaction. They push you to extremes to keep you scrolling, clicking, arguing, buying. But if you take a step back and put your phone face down, look out the window. We're all living in some of the safest times in history. That's it. At least American history. I mean, the key isn't being, shut down or being hyper fragile, worrying about every little thing. It's literally about media literacy. Recognizing that the endless stream, it's all the exact same thing. It's just meant to grab your attention. Stop letting it grab your attention. Stop letting it insult you into a reaction. Don't hand over your peace of mind to someone that is just trying to get a reaction out of you. That's how Meta works. That's how any social media works. I mean, even YouTube's getting more enshittified. Because that's really what it is the enshittification. It's the hypercycle. You know, they know that they're going to keep you on the platform, on the thing, engaged if they keep giving you something. Anything. It's why YouTube is trying to push news stations now. I think that's dumb as bricks. I'm tired of seeing news plastered. Like, honestly. You know, YouTube's been sending me news feeds, and it's like, that's not what I want to see. One, because most of it's bullshit. Most of it's curated, plastered. You know, I mean, I know this word gets thrown out there a lot. Fake news. But if you actually look into a lot of it, they overblow the statistics of just about everything. Anyone. And it's not just some one-sided thing. Everybody does it. Everything does it. They push you into a corner so that you feel like your back's to the wall. But your back's just to a door. All you have to do is step out. Just open the door and step out of the corner. There's nothing else, you know, I mean, you don't have to take it. You don't have to give them your reaction. You know, when I started this channel, the idea wasn't to bring bad news to people. The idea was, when I started talking, was actually try and give solutions. Like, yeah, like last night, bringing up the ham scandal. Well, to stop from this happening to you, you know, you buy something with a labeled weight. Every grocery store has a scale. Weigh it. It's simple as that. Don't just trust blindly anymore. We can't. You know, I mean, my God, 20 years ago, when the internet was just really starting to get rolling and be enshittified like it is now, everybody talks like, oh, 20 years ago, the internet was great. It's like, no, it was already being enshittified. I mean, Comcast, now Xfinity, don't forget that they're the same damn company. All they did was change their name to distance themselves from the bad press that they deserve. They tried to privatize the internet. They tried to force people to only be able to go on what your internet service provider lets you go to. And these various companies would have to buy placement. They were trying to basically make a mall or a strip mall out of the internet. That you only got to go to websites that, you know, curated. Well, back then, even Google fought off that. Look it up. There was something called the internet blackout over those rules. And Google actually supported the people that said, no, we shouldn't do it. Now, I don't know if today's Google would have, but I know back then they were a good company. I know they've done a lot of crappy things. Like, I mean, right now, you know, it's like I've basically given up on ever being monetized on YouTube. There's no way I can compete. You know, I mean, all they did with this new monetization routine is force people to use AI, to actually push out more slop, because they doubled all the requirements to get monetized, which were already way over what they used to be. So, you know, you got to realize that most of the creators you see today would have never made it. I'm sorry to say it, but they would have never made it. Or very few of them would have. I mean, and some of the biggest creators, just would have got buried under all sorts of crap. You know, I mean, some of them didn't have that kind of time before they actually got noticed. I mean, how many stories did you hear about YouTube creators that went viral or got monetized just before they had to quit? I don't know about you, but I've heard quite a few stories. You know, and jumping it from 4,000 to 8,000 view time in a year period before you've actually gone viral, you can't do it. Not without, you know, tricking the system in some way, not without some kind of clickbait. And I refuse to do that. You know, I refuse to tailor make these thumbnails that just, you know, basically trick people into clicking on them. I absolutely refuse to do that. That's not who I am. You know, if I let that happen, that means I got beat. You know, I'd rather quit. I mean, I am also, you know, just seriously thinking of simulcasting on YouTube. Good night, Jade. You have a good night. You know, and I hate to say it that way, but I mean, it's just like, what's the point? YouTube doesn't want me there. That's really what they're doing. They're taking the U out of YouTube. You know, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm glad that, you know, the creators that did get to make it, but I'm sad for all the people that are going to be left behind now. Yeah, sure, we got till February to make it, which means everybody's going to be doing a huge push to try and get monetized. And which means we're going to see all sorts of slop, all sorts of garbage get kicked out there, because that's what people click on. Like, let's be honest, that's what people click on. Most of you probably don't, but there's a whole bunch of people that sit there and click on garbage. I mean, look at the people that actually make it. You know, anymore. Look who's actually getting monetized now. And they do it by gimmick, by tricks. You know, it's not good marketing. Like, I don't even understand it. I don't understand how people watch this stuff. I don't understand how they do it. A lot of what I see on a lot of different things is just garbage. I mean, the two of the biggest well, not two of the biggest, but the biggest streamers is just garbage stuff. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad people, but it's just like, it's just slop. They're not doing anything. I mean, most of them are famous for being famous. That's it. You know, I mean, one of the ones that pisses me off the most is Kai Cenat. Literally engineering a whole generation of kids and content that's nothing but brain rot. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but Kai Cenat is basically IRL AI. Slop. He's real life AI slop. You know, and it blows me away. It blows me away that we keep doing it. We don't look for people that actually care. We look for people, as a general rule, I assume people that are actually clicked on this, on me, obviously aren't who I'm talking to. You know, because like I said, when I first started this channel, it's not about bringing bad news. It's about finding solutions. It's about letting people know that there's somebody in your freaking corner. There's somebody trying to make the world better, even if it's just one person at a time. You know, planting seeds for the ability to planting seeds to make the world a better place, to help you make good decisions later on, so that, you know, who you talk to help make better decisions. You know, and I know a lot of it is sometimes things you guys don't want to hear. You know, putting down the phone. Don't use delivery apps because you're getting charged, you know, almost $20 extra every time you do it. You know, if you really wanted food on the way home, or when you got home, get it on the way home. You're already moving. You know, I mean, and I know some people absolutely have to use delivery apps. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about, you know, maybe paying more attention to how much you actually use a delivery app. Those things are damned expensive. You spend a lot of extra money on that. If I remember right, the statistic is almost 48% more than going and getting it yourself. It's creeped up that much that you're paying almost half again as much for your food just to get it delivered to your house. You know, like Nine Tails with the Pizza Hut. You know, yeah, $15 order, but then you have to add another, what, $10 for a delivery fee and the tip to the driver. In total, not $10 each. At least I don't think delivery fees have gotten up that high. I know when I quit with Domino's, our delivery fees had gone up to almost $7. Or no, I think they were $6.99. You know, and it's not like things are getting any cheaper. You know, and there are solutions. You know, you can make a better life. You have to go outside. You know, you have to look within yourself to find what you really need to do, what you really should be doing. Like, yeah, sure, every once in a while, grab a delivery order. You know, that's fine. But majority of the time, if you're going to grab something, you should go and grab something. Get it yourself. Now, if you have limitations like you can't actually shop or something like that, or don't have a car, obviously, I'm not talking to you. Obviously, that's a completely different matter. You know, nobody likes bringing groceries home on the bus. Like, you might have to, but nobody likes it. You know, I mean, hell, in some places, back before, you know, Uber destroyed, you know, cabs, you could actually buy a, like a monthly contract to the cab service for like a daily pickup and drop off. So, like, you could actually pay, you know, once a month to use the cab for like grocery. You know, you can negotiate it. I knew a lady that did it. You know, she didn't drive. She worked as a waitress. The cab company knew her schedule, so, or she'd call them if she was getting off early or late, and they'd be waiting for her when she got off work. She'd go over to Safeway. They'd wait in the parking lot for her there. She'd grab her groceries. They'd drive her home. You know, I mean, that's what you used to be able to do. But now with some third-party company dispersonalized everything, you don't have a personal relationship with your driver. You know, and that's what a lot of these apps have done, is they've destroyed the personalization. They've destroyed what it means. And I think it's sad. I think it's sad that we have lost all connection. Even in the things, like little things that used to keep us going. We've lost connection. Wow. Oh. I don't know. You know, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be talking at all. You know, maybe I'm not helping anyone anymore. Or maybe I never was. Or maybe I'm just bad at it. I am trying to help. I'm not trying to make things worse. But sometimes I'm wondering if I'm getting through. I wonder if people are actually understanding what I mean, or if I'm not saying the right way. But to be honest, I don't know how else to speak. So, I mean, I hope it makes sense someday. You know, I've tried putting the information in, and I don't know how many different ways. The music I write, like Spill of Thoughts, is basically what I'm talking about now. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe what I'm saying just doesn't really matter anymore. Maybe I'm too late. I hope I'm not. Because it sure as hell feels like there's still time to change things. To help people to understand what they, you know, that they've been trained wrong. That between the school system, between media, between social media, you've been trained to not trust who you are. That you don't know, that somebody else has to tell you who you are. And that's not right. You know who you are. You should know who you are. And I really hope that at some point you guys, you know, can understand what I'm trying to say. That always looking to somebody else to tell you who you are will always make you unsure. You know, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah, I'm just being honest. I don't know how else to explain it, that you have to be who you are. You have to learn to trust who you are. You can't let others, you can't look to social media for validation. You know, and honestly, a lot of times it feels like I'm talking to an empty room. And I very well might be. I just hope that the people who listen in on this someday get what I was trying to say. Because I'm not sure, watching the world around me, how well it's going to go if we don't learn who we are first. That if we constantly look at others, if we constantly worry about all this outside stuff, that we're cooked. You know, I mean, look at everything. We're so worried about all this stuff that, one, we can't control. Yeah, we are certainly cooked. But I think it's recoverable. Honestly, I think it's recoverable. I think we can come back. But I don't think people want to. You know, that's the sad part is I don't think people want to. Not the majority of them. Most of them just want to click on laugh funny. Like I can't believe how close we actually are to idiocracy. I mean, it's scary sometimes at how much we watch these people who watch the same thing over and over again. Or these parents that let their kids have their phone and watch these garbage people teach their kids to emulate that garbage. You know, to create this cycle of, in my personal opinion, mental abuse. Handing your kid off of an iPad, a phone, that should be considered mental abuse. Because that means you're not paying attention to your child. That means that you don't care enough to parent your child. You know, sitting your kids in front of the TV was bad enough. But this is worse. This is so worse. And the problem is that it could be made better. There are solutions. There are ways to make this better, this world a better place. But the first thing I think America has to do is, you know, for America to make it a better place, we have to isolate ourselves from the rest of the world. We have to pull our money out of all the other economies, everybody else, all this globalized BS. And we need to fix ourselves. Because as sad as it is, the rest of the world looks towards us. And America right now is the equivalent of a Jerry Springer episode. People are watching us to point and laugh. They're not watching us to emulate. And frankly, that's sad. It's sad when you realize the country you were born in is nothing but the world's joke, and has been for decades. We're just waking up to it. This isn't just a recent thing. This isn't a political thing. This is, we have spread our capitalism, and I'm not an anti-capitalist, don't get me wrong. I actually think capitalism is the best system we've come up with so far. But capitalism also needs to be alloyed with a certain level of social programs. You know, we should fix our own healthcare system. You know, corporations should go back to the way it used to be. I mean, I don't think people realized how good corporations used to be, just even in the 80s. And those are some of the worst times, according to some people. I mean, my family, when I was born, we lived in what was called company housing. My dad worked for a sawmill that was so lucrative, they had bought up a whole neighborhood so they could offer free, or not free, but cheap rent to their workers. You know, I mean, it's insane to realize that used to be a standard thing, and now we're told that, you know, that it's terrible, it's scary, you know, it's like, oh, then the company controls everything about you. It's like, kinda, yeah. For modern, you know, corporations, for modern CEOs, yeah, that would be absolutely scary. They would not take a second thought about kicking you out. Back then, you know, there were certain standards, like there was actual contracts they had to hold to. You know, they were your landlord. And maybe I'm just being optimistic, you know, but the problem is that you have to trust that the other person has your best interests at heart. And unfortunately, they have automated so much of our world that these CEOs don't really think they need us, even though they absolutely need us. Because who's going to buy the product? You know, their money circle can only go around for so long before somebody has to be there. Yes, baby. I'm talking. You know, and it's... At least there's that. At least we know that there is an end point, that they can't win. You know, no matter how much they may screw up the world and everything like that, they will pass away from old age just like the rest of everybody else. And well, a lot of these guys are getting way up there. A lot of these people that are controlling the world right now are way up there. I mean, yeah, we still got to deal with Zuckerberg and Musk. Honestly, I'm surprised Musk is still around from some of the stories I've heard about, you know, drug use that he's done. But I also don't know that for a fact. That's just rumor. Zuckerberg, I'm still not sure if he's not, you know, some kind of robot. You know, I mean, you know, or a puppet of some kind. But something has to change. I mean, it can't keep going the way it's going. I think that's how you ended up with, you know, New York voting the way it did, because people were just trying something different. It's not that they really had faith in it. I still don't think people really have faith in any kind of real socialism. I mean, we've seen it fail too many times. You know, that's the thing. You can't be a socialist. It's not gonna work. It never works. All it does is enrich the people at the top and the poor prop it up. Socialism as a government is nothing but a pyramid scheme. Like, I mean, that's just the way it works. Capitalism, at least there's a mechanism where you can just go, well, I'm not buying your product. You know, you can take down a capitalist society by just stop paying for it. You know, and they don't want you to understand that you have power. You know, I mean, in the most connected times in the world, we could actually organize some of the most devastating. If people plan ahead, you said it right, you could devastate most capitalist corporations by just not buying their stuff once. So up, Green Jeans? It's probably on a huge delay for you, because YouTube's been acting up too. But I'm just saying that, you know, it can't last forever. We know this. And it won't last forever. And we need to understand that there is a way out. We have to wait. We have to be prepared. You know, take care of yourself. Save your money. You know, which saving your money can be kind of hard. because you have to make sure that you bet on the winner if you're putting it in a bank. You know, because, you know, people talk about, you know, oh, we'll buy gold. Well, gold's just a storage of value. Gold goes up basically with inflation. You know, we're not going to be making a whole lot of money. And please, for God, don't invest in crypto. Not financial advice. I just don't think that's a smart way to play. It's a completely unregulated market. That's why I say no. But there are things you can do to take care of yourself one manner or another. I know things are like super expensive right now, but you know, 25 bucks here, 25 bucks there can go a long ways. You know, and I just, like I said, I want to help people. I want to try and move the needle a little bit. But sometimes it just feels like the world resists. The world pushes back. And it makes it feel yes, exactly, Green Jeans. But you can also choose not to buy. And I know that's hard. I know that's hard. Trust me, I mean,
No clock face.
I know that feeling. I mean, I've made decent amount of money for the time period.
No moment asking.
And it's hard when you have money. And you see something you want. But you have to remember, do you need it? Because that's a large portion of the consumer culture. And also they go on, you know, they put things on clearance and on sales just to get you to buy things. You know, you also have to remember that a lot of these corporations, what they're selling at clearance is still at profit. You know, at 50% off. I think you have to get down to like 30% off before they're not making a profit anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a difference between profit and sustainable profit. Those are two different things. Like, yeah, they made their money back off the item, but it doesn't mean they can maintain their business. You know, so understand there is a small difference. But it's gotten so outsized that it's not sustainable. And putting money back, putting money away where you can, and even if it is in storage of value, you know, in gold or silver or whatnot, do what's right for you. You know, this isn't financial advice. I'm just saying that, you know, $5 a week that you can put away, that's $20 a month. It's only $240, you know, $240 a year. It's not a whole lot. But it's also nice to have something that when you have a crisis that you can pull money out of a savings account. And I know how hard that is. I really know how hard that is. But we also have to remember that indulging too much in ourself just leads to self-destruction, basically. But you do have to indulge the self every once in a while. Like Ninetales, order the pizza. You know, like Greenie, buy something every once in a while. Just keep it at a certain minimum. You know, hell, budget in if you can. I understand the world. Entertainment budget. You know, a discretionary fund.
We don't leave instructions.
You know, like I've described before.
We don't leave.
You know, I add up all my bills and divide it by 4.
We leave
You know, and that's the money that's going out each week when I get paid. Well, when the wife gets paid.
Every kind is left intact.
You know, and add up all the money that she makes in a month. Divide that by 4.
Time you chose to stay.
That's how much money we have going in, and you subtract those two. Whatever's left. Yeah, right. You know, whatever you need, man. But you subtract those two. Whatever's left over from your bills, and I mean you add up everything, you know, your food budget, everything. Whatever's left over is your discretionary fund. You can fund in, you know, a little bit of entertainment, a fast food meal once a week, you know, or $10 for savings, for stocks, for whatever.
You stop racing. Consequence. You stop living. Half a head
Makes sense, Greenie.
and came fully into sin.
But you guys, I think I am wiped. I don't know why I'm so tired, but this took a lot out of me tonight. I think I'm gonna let y'all go. I hope you had a wonderful night, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. And wrestle the phone away if you go crazy. That makes sense, Greenie. But yeah, you all have a good night. Hope to see you again tomorrow.